Hey, this is Nick from Remedy667.com, the best place on the internet for horror-themed typography and fonts and all that fantastic goodness. A quick backstory on this one. So I was trying to get a couple weeks ahead, and I recorded a couple videos. One was the Pit and the Pendulum. I did that, and then I redid another Curse of the Crying Woman. And both of them got flagged on YouTube for copyright for whatever reason. Pit and the Pendulum had like a commercial in the middle of it because I was streaming Tubi, and it grabbed a song from I don't know, whatever foolishness. Anyway, so I was at Goodwill the other day and digging through the records, and I found this nice piece of lettering on a record, and I'll leave it in the description because I honestly don't remember what the record is, but it's called Through European Windows, and I don't feel like pausing it to look it up because I'm mean. But yeah, let's get started. I really like the way this looks. It's kind of scratchy, but it's not too scratchy. It's very obviously not a font, but could be. And I like the variables that it has. In it, like how there are a couple different R's and a couple different H's, and they're vastly different, you know. So those are always kind of fun when you get stuff like that. Also having quite a few letters here, so I think that's everything. And having the duplicates is also nice because you can do a couple different versions pretty easily. I don't know what I'm yammering about this time. So let's see. We need a B. We'll probably make that from this R. And this R is kind of at a tippy angle, so for the B, I'm going to want it to be a little more uppity, upward. So first thing I'm going to do was rotate it and move it up like that. Then I'm going to grab the P, which by default should have a taller bit than the R, and move that down, and that's going to be my B. And it's not the best B in the world, but it's probably the 476th best B in the world, so I'll take it. I'm gonna make the C from the G. How's that for some backwardsness? To do that, I'm gonna cut this right around there, and I think I'm gonna use the S for that bottom part of the C, just to give it a little bit of variation from the G. Group. Copy those. That deleted that, didn't it? Anyway, all right, so that's fine.
Virginia, are you crazy? No, it's done.
We're going to make our F from this E. Similar to what we did with the G, we are going to take, I think, maybe this N, and use that for the bottom of the F. right at the height that the end's at, which is going to extend that a little bit. Interestingly enough, if you listen to me ramble enough, you will know that you got to pull that down. But I'm only pulling it down a tiny bit because it's already pretty low, even though we lowered that end. Not even lowering it as much as that. And it looks like we've got some points here that need a little tidied. Let's group that so it's all one. Group. All right. GHI. The J is going to be pretty easy because we had 2 U's. And this one has a little clip on that side of it. This one does not. So I want to cut it there, and I think I want to cut it there. And I'm going to delete this midsection. And bring that together to make the J. The K should be pretty easy since I have an extra R. And I understand, looking at all this, you're probably like, why don't you just draw this? Because that's not as fun. And that's not what we're practicing. Alright, so this one is fine to go like that. This one, I don't know why this is behaving so peculiar. It's doing something weird. It's doing like, so when I select it, see it's highlighted, but then when I move away it's not. I feel like it should kind of be highlighted and keeping the bounding box. I don't know. But so I know that that's what's highlighted. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing this. It's behaving weird. It's Illustrator. It's kind of part of the group that. I think I have another E up here that I can make into an L. I don't know how I'm going to make the M. Just kidding. There's a couple. What? All right. So those dots, what I was doing there pretty much just makes it so when I make that cut, it's not going to leave a dot out somewhere. This is actually gonna be a nice little top to the L. And the reason we need a top to the, jeez, come on. There, look at that. Why? It's not showing me anything. Whew, making it complicated. Oh. So part of the reason I've been using this version of Illustrator for such a long time was because when I get to the part where I'm importing from from Illustrator to font self to glyphs, the intermediate of font self, it helps when you're in glyphs to already have all of the characters kind of set up what they're going to be. So in this version of Illustrator, they had finally done a way that you could tab through your like sub layers and rename them, which would have been amazing if they would have done that years ago. But so they finally got that figured out. But then in a recent update, they now have it so it tabs like the eye, then the layer name, then, you know, visibility, the eye. Essentially, I have to tab like 4 times in between each line because it's moving through all this other data that you don't necessarily want it to, or I don't necessarily want it to. There might be a way to turn it off. I'm not sure. Either way, I was able to get my hands on a script that all I will do is highlight all the letters in a specific row, and then I can name the layer, sublayers that way. So I could use a new version of Illustrator again. So maybe I'll do that next week. We'll see. Or maybe I'll figure out some way to make these weird copyright videos something that I can actually show. Because I bet if I re-record the audio, I could probably use them, which would be nice. I don't like that it doesn't show my outline. Ugh. You know, Adobe. Like, look at this. I'm flying blind. I almost wrote an angry letter to Facebook earlier today because I had been running ads. I guess I am running ads. But they kind of shut me out of my Facebook page, and they were like, oh, you got to set up a new kind of security. Like when I went to log in, and I was like, I already have 2-factor and all this turned on. So it was on my computer, it was like, no, you need to set up your fingerprint. And I was like, all right, whatever, hit the button, go to do my fingerprint, and it doesn't read. So, you know, I'm doing Googling, trying to figure out what's going on. Nobody really had any good answers anywhere. So, so I tried to do it on my phone, and my phone's like, hey, do it through another device. Scan this QR code. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm on the only device I have that can scan a QR code. So, how can I get the QR code to show up on my computer? And I don't know. So I was writing them an email like, hey, I'm stuck in an infinite loop because you're telling me I have to do this type of authentication. I ultimately was able to do it with my iPad, which ironically doesn't have Facebook on it. And I don't even know if I was logged into Facebook on it or not. But I must have, because it must have made me. But cool story, right? Long story short, too late, got logged back in, was able to look at it. I'm still not really sure what they were trying to get me to do. But yeah, I had to scan a QR code on my phone with my iPad, and then it let me sign on with my iPad, and then it was like, great, you're good. And I'm not really sure what was different and what happened. I don't know. I think I keep looking at this W to make an X, but I'm not really convinced that that's actually what I want. I'm also not totally convinced how this Y is going to look. Uh-oh. It's the kids. Just kidding. They're probably sleeping. It's probably my wife on her break.
So, this is it.
I don't see any sign of, what's his name? The lawyer.
That is weird. I am not an enjoyer of it not showing me things that would be very helpful. But it looks like X is all we have left. I think I can probably do it from this broken W, and it won't look too bad as this double X's.
Just remember, we're trying to avoid that expense, if possible.
Well,
Group that, and I'm actually going to rotate that just to make it a little, never mind. I was trying to make it look a little different than the Y. But there you have it through European Windows. The full alphabet. That was much quicker than what I planned to record for you. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. And then you live to fight another day. Whoa, snapping all over the place. Okay, so I figured I would make the title card since that font went very fast. But then I realized I wasn't recording. So it's Ron McKuen through European Windows is where this came from. And that's our bit of lettering. That is Horror Font Friday for the beginning of March. Maybe not necessarily a horror font right off the bat when you look at it, but I mean, think about these scratchy fonts are definitely always going to have like a bit of that going on. So we're at 17 minutes. I did explaining. I did a quick font. Let's do some numbers because it looks like, you know, we have a little bit of time. If anybody wants to hang out and watch me make some numbers, good for you. Should be fun, maybe. What else do we use? We use a B, we use an H. That seems like it might be everything. Not fully remember. So that's our 9. Use our S to make an 8. That's our 7. What do we need to make a 6? So same thing. Same thing that we made a 9 with. Our 5 is also going to be the same as our 2. 4, 3. Oh my God, without being able to see things, it's driving me crazy with complications. All right, so does anybody remember how to do this? To make our O, we are going to shrink it in a little bit, and then this inside, we're going to shrink that in a little bit too, just to get the thickness back. I moved it down a little bit. It's still a little too thick at the bottom there maybe, but you know what? I think that's fine.
unfortunate result of inbreeding.
Never mind that now, Bruno. We can go into all that at the proper time. Let's see. Yes. I would like to know the whereabouts of certain other members of
That's our 1. Essentially an I with like a little bit over. You know what? I'm actually going to change the top a little bit also because the eye is so...
Come on, Bruno.
There's only one.
Are they around or
If
not?
somebody might make an I1 steak sauce, and
I know.
I'd be doomed.
It became necessary
Or they'd be doomed, because
a more private sort of an institution.
My good man. Are you saying that you
nobody would know.
that the family
Alright, so this
has been in
probably
full
should not
charge
jut
of
out
this
that far for the two.
and these minor
And this could actually go out a little bit further.
You see, I promised the master
Yeah.
Group that.
Listen, Schlock,
To start with the 3, I want to compress that shape into 1. I'm going to cut right through there and right through there.
Matter of fact, Bruno, we intend to spend
I'm going to go a little bit higher. Oh, that looks bad.
there seems to be a difference of opinion as to who is the guest and who the host
Much
is.
better.
You do have food in the house, don't you?
yes, you see, our diet is very austere. But I suppose we could find something.
3, that looks pretty good. 4, I'm actually going to...
I smell a bug.
pull that together a little bit.
Black, juicy.
For the 5, I'm going to compress this S a tiny bit, which may seem weird, but it just cuts up really high. And then I'm going to fix the roundness of that. So then I'm going to pull that up a little bit and do the same thing. I know it's
You're doing so well.
Breakfast ready, Bruno.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Bring him right down.
My dear, there's no doubt in my mind that we have here an absolutely clear-cut, prima facie, open and shut case.
Great. Now, all I wonder about is what good was the daughter's
Well, that's a little difficult to tell at this juncture. Perhaps with an audit, Miss Morris, give me schedule B.
All right here, Mr. Schlocker.
Of course, this is only the visible part.
oh my god.
With more information, we can
I would complain that Illustrator was driving me nuts, but I'm pretty sure it's something I'm doing or not doing.
Well, yes, isn't he cute?
But the flickering and the glitching is driving me bonkers. Up a bonkers wall. Change the angle of that a little bit. This is born to be an 8.
Dinner, sir.
Ah, at last. Thank you, Virginia. That was very good, Virginia. Oh, you go right ahead, but hurry up, hurry up.
And reflect this.
Hungry, Miss Morris?
Oh, yes. I'm famished.
Shall we then?
And that's our 9, which can probably lean that way a little bit.
We're not very formal here at Merriam.
So there we go. We got some numbers. We got some letters. It's a scratchy font. And that is what you get on a Horror Font Friday when things get messed up. So join us next week.
You can sit down.
I'm Nick from remedy667.com. And go check out our website. It's in the description. See you next week.